I was tying a pale blue ribbon around a small box when my sister did the unthinkable. At her own engagement brunch, Ria leaned over the gift table and said loud enough for the room to hear, "If Lena brings another handmade thing, I'm returning it on live video." I had two choices, smile and swallow, or protect what little piece I had left. I slid the box back into my bag and told myself I'd wait. Later, I'd learn why she needed to humiliate me. And after that, I would never see my parents the same way again. We had a rule. It started last New Year's after Dad declared the family's savings needed a break. No gifts over $75 until after the wedding, he'd said. Cash is tight. Let's be practical. We all nodded. Me, Mom, and Ria. Ria even laughed. Perfect. I'm saving for my dream venue. I was saving too. Quietly. I'm 31. An architect who drafts kitchens I can't afford. I wanted a place of my own. A small loft. A door that locks. A window that faces sunset. I told no one. Not after the last time I shared plans and they turned into a group project I had to fund. The brunch was at a glassy rooftop downtown. White balloons? Peonies that looked like spun sugar. A live violinist playing pop songs so soft you had to tilt your head to catch them. Ria thrives in places like that. She's 27, pretty in a way that gets her drinks and discounts, and skilled at making a scene sound like a joke. I arrived with my little blue box. Inside was a custom wedding planner. Not store-bought. A local leatherworker pressed RHEA plus Luke in gold foil on the cover. I'd added tabs color-coded. Venue, menu, budget, contacts, notes. I even booked an hour with a planner I'd worked with on a hotel project. The invoice sat folded beneath the cover. The total was $74. Clear, under the rule, thoughtful, useful. I barely crossed the room when Mom kissed my cheek and whispered, "Try not to make today about you, Lena." There it was. The family tone, polite, sharp. I've heard it since childhood. You're the responsible one, they'd say. Which always meant, you will bend, noted I said, and kept my smile. Gifts piled high. Crystal flutes, a silk robe, a box with a designer logo that made Ria squeal. She hugged each giver like they'd restored her faith in love. Phones recorded everything. The playlist tripped over its own sweetness. "Let's open mine last," said Aunt Mara, winking at the cameras. She loves a finale. "Mon Lena yours," Ria slipped and caught herself. She never calls me by my actual name unless she needs money. I handed her the planner. "Open it later," I said light. "It's just practical stuff." She tore the paper like a magician unmasking a trick. The room went quiet in that slow, sticky way where you can hear one person set a glass down across the terrace. A notebook. Ria held it up between two fingers. "For my engagement brunch." She laughed. Not a chuckle. A stage laugh. My sister brought me homework. A few cousins snorted. Someone whispered, "Ouch." "It's a custom planner," I said steady, with a paid consult tucked inside. "You said you were overwhelmed." She flipped through, found the invoice, read it, tilted it toward the other cameras. $74. She looked at me over the cover, eyes bright and mean. "Why not go to 80 or 100? You know, like a real gift?" "We agreed on 75 as the cap," I said. "Your rule, that was for people who can't afford better," she said. "Family can do more." My face went hot. I waited for Mom to say something, for Dad to remind her. Mom adjusted a peony and said, "It is a big day." Dad's hand clamped my elbow. He has that coach voice even when he whispers. "Lena." "Don't start." "I'm not starting," I said. "I'm sticking to the rule." Ria closed the planner with a snap. "Keep it. I don't need that charity-looking stuff at my wedding." She set it back on the table like it might stain the linen. Cameras caught everything. But I wanted to argue, to list every time I'd covered a bill, a deposit, a midnight Uber. The textbooks I bought for her when she lost her card, the bailout from her boutique credit card 2 years ago that no one mentions because it makes the family look messy. I wanted to say, "I'm not your bank." Instead, I did what I've been trained to do. I folded. "Congratulations," I said. Quiet. To the air, to no one. I picked up my bag. I walked away from the cameras, the peonies, the violinist trying to transition into something less awkward. By the elevator, Dad caught up. "You made her feel small," he said. "She did that herself," I answered. My voice surprised me. It didn't shake. "Go home," he said. "We'll talk later." "We never do," I said. Then I stepped into the elevator and pressed the lobby button with one finger like I was signing a contract with myself. I cried in my car. Not dramatic sobbing, Just that steady leak of everything you've held together too long. Then I drove to the river and parked by the old warehouses. I watched brown water slide past and asked out loud, "What am I doing?" My phone buzzed. Nora, my anchor, my best friend since the yearbook club. "How's the brunch?" her text said. A party hat emoji, I told her, the short version. She called immediately. "I'm on my break," she said. "Say the word, I'll come get you." "I'm okay," I said. "I think I'm done chasing apologies." "Good," she said. "Do something for you today." I stared at the buildings across the river. Red brick, tall windows, a rusted sign with ghost letters, Harbor Mills. "Maybe I will," I said. "Maybe I'll finally call Diego." Diego is a realtor, a contractor introduced to me when I sketched a bakery renovation for a client. He finds places with bones, the contractor had said. Weird old perfect bones. I'd saved his number under maybe. That's the truth of who I've been. Maybe later. Maybe when no one needs something from me. Maybe when I'm done proving I'm easy to love. I called. He answered on the second ring. Lena. His voice was warm, unhurried. "Funny timing. I just got a pocket listing, not on the market yet. Third floor loft, warehouse conversion, South Light. Walkable to everything. It's different. Different hooked me. How big? 800 square feet. Exposed beams. A tiny balcony that pretends to be larger than it is. The corner of my mouth lifted. Price, he told me. I did quick math in my head. Savings, closing costs, a small emergency cushion that made me breathe easier. I could do it, if I kept my promises to myself, if I didn't bend. "When can I see it?" I asked. Now he said, "Owner's friend can meet us in 20. Text me the address," I said. I checked my mirror. My eyes were pink, my jaw was set. "I'm coming." The building used to be a textile mill. Now it had a coffee shop in the lobby, a plant store that spilled green into the hallway, and a chalkboard sign that read, "Neighbors Night Thursday." The elevator groaned like an old man getting out of a chair. I loved it immediately. The door opened onto sunlight and wood. The air smelled faintly of lemon oil and dust. The floors were a little uneven. The windows were huge. The ceiling beams had initials carved into them from whoever had sanded stained and decided to leave a story behind. I walked to the balcony. The city stretched out in layers. Red roofs, a clock tower. The river like a ribbon of dull silver. Somewhere a saxophone ripped through an open window. My chest unclenched. "I think this might be it," I said. Diego stood back, letting me listen to myself. "You'll want to run numbers," he said. "But if you feel it, say so. We can set terms that protect you." "I feel it," I said. And I felt something else, a line drawing itself in permanent ink. We went over the basics. HOA fees. Inspections. A seller who needed to relocate by the end of the month. A timeline that would force decisions. "I can put in an offer today," I said. "Contingent on inspection. Do you have pre-approval ready?" Yes, I'd done that months ago. I keep my ducks in rows even when no one thanks me for it. I sat at the kitchenette counter and texted Nora a picture of the light falling across the floor. She sent back 3 hard eyes and then, "Do it." I smiled and typed the offer number into my phone like I was sending a message to the universe, "I choose me." On my way out, my phone buzzed again. A notification from a credit app I barely check. "New inquiry on your credit report," it said. Time-stamped during the brunch. My stomach dipped. I tapped through. A bridal boutique line of credit application, in my name. At a shop 2 blocks from the rooftop. I stopped in the hallway, the chalkboard neighbor's night behind me, the lemon oil scent in my lungs. I stared at the screen until the letters stopped blurring. And I knew with the clean, cold certainty of an architect who has measured the load and the span that the gift fiasco hadn't been about a planner at all. It had been about getting into my wallet again. I put my phone in my pocket. I took a breath that reached the bottom of my ribs. "Diego," I said, turning back toward the loft, "let's move fast." We signed the offer in the lobby cafe. Diego slid the tablet to me. Initial here, here, and there. My hand didn't tremble. It felt like placing bricks in a straight line. Inspection. "Wednesday," he said. "If anything's off, we renegotiate or walk." "Deal," I said. I left with a new set of numbers in my head and a hard pit in my stomach. The credit alert sat like a blinking light behind my eyes. Bridal boutique? My name. During the brunch. I called the bank from the sidewalk. "Please place a fraud alert and freeze any new lines," I said. The agent asked questions, confirmed details, logged the time. "Anything else?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I need the inquiry's merchant ID." She read it to me. I wrote it on a napkin from the cafe. My handwriting looked like I'd carved it with a key. I Googled the boutique, then walked there. 2 blocks. White facade, lace in the window. A bell chimed when I opened the door. The air smelled like hairspray and champagne. A woman at the counter smiled. "Welcome to Ivory and Finch. I'm Maya." "Hi," I said. "I got a notice someone tried to open credit here in my name." Her smile fell. "Oh." She checked the computer. "Name Lena Hart," she typed. Looked up. "I'm so sorry. The application didn't approve on the spot. We flagged it because the ID photo didn't match perfectly. The person said the camera on their phone was broken." "What did they look like?" Maya hesitated. "Brown hair, curled, tan jacket, pink nails." She said she was in a rush because her engagement party was upstairs at the harbor rooftop. My mouth went dry. She used my name. "She said she was your sister, actually," Maya said. "That you were covering the down payment on a rush order. She kept saying, 'Lena will vouch for me.'" There it was, out loud. "Do you have the application?" I asked. "Or a copy?" "We keep scans," she said carefully. "I can't print without a manager, but I can note your statement and attach it." "Could I speak to the manager?" "She's in the back steaming a veil," Maya said, wincing. "And she's not great with conflict." "That's okay," I said. "You've helped." I slid her my card. "If anyone tries again, call me, immediately." Maya nodded. Her eyes softened. "Are you okay?" "I'm getting there," I said. I stood outside and watched a bus pass. It carried an ad for a bank. The tagline read, "You deserve trust." I almost laughed. "I called Nora. She used your name." Nora said, voice sharp. Maya said she did. "Freeze everything," Nora said. "Get the boutique note in writing. File a report. Don't wait." "You're right, I know," she said gently. "Also, I made soup. Come by tonight if you need quiet." Even on the phone, she steadied me. The anchor she's always been. On my way home, I remembered a field trip in 10th grade. Ria begged to borrow my student ID for the museum discount because she'd lost hers. She used it to buy sneakers with a coupon that required student proof. I'd gotten detention when the vice principal spotted the switch on the camera and assumed I sold my ID. Mom had made me apologize for causing trouble. Ria had cried. Everyone comforted her. Looking back now, the pattern was so obvious it felt like someone spelling my name in neon. At my place, I scanned the napkin and typed a timeline. Brunch, credit alert, boutique, Maya's description. Then I drafted a brief police report online. Not because I wanted sirens, because I wanted a file number. Paper doesn't forget the way people do. Mom texted while I was typing, "Your father says to keep the peace. Don't humiliate your sister on the internet." I stared at the screen. I hadn't posted anything, not a word. Ria texted right after, "Hey, weird Q, did you get a credit alert?" "Boutique glitch? They put your name by accident. I fixed it. Don't make a big deal. I read it twice," I responded. "We need to talk." She sent back a heart emoji and then "busy wedding things, love ya." The audacity burned away whatever softness I had left. Diego emailed the next morning. The seller accepted. We were officially under contract. The inspection was set for Wednesday at 10. I approved the earnest deposit. It felt like closing a door behind me while opening a better one ahead. At lunch, I walked to the precinct and asked for a printout of my online report. The officer behind the glass stamped it. The thunk echoed. "If the boutique gives you footage," he said, "bring it. If not, a written statement from the clerk helps." "Thank you," I said. I meant it. A stamp isn't support, but it's something that holds. I swung by Ivory and Finch again. Maya met me at the door like we were in a quiet conspiracy. I told the manager, she whispered. She said we don't get mixed up in family issues. But if the police request footage, we'll comply. "Could you write what you told me?" I asked. "Date time description." She glanced at the back room, nodded, wrote fast, signed her name. "Thank you," I said. "If anyone asks, tell them we're following procedure." I tucked the page behind the police report. 2 thin shields, still my shoulders eased. Wednesday came. The inspector was a gray-haired man with a tape measure on his belt and the calm of someone who has seen every version of uh-oh. "Name's Trevor," he said. "Let's see what this old mill is hiding." We checked outlets, pipes, windows that stuck near the top, a hairline crack near a beam that turned out to be from settling 20 years ago. Normal stuff. Trevor ran water and listened. "Good bones," he said. "You'll want to reseal the balcony. And that bathroom fan, it's performative." Performative? I laughed for the first time in days. It hums like it works, he said, but it doesn't move air. We wrote it all down. Diego negotiated a small credit. The seller agreed within an hour. There's a kind of relief that lives in competence. We were swimming in it. That night, Luke called me. Not a text. A call. Hey, Lena, he said. His voice was softer than I remembered. Can we talk, sure? I went to my window and leaned on the sill. I saw a charge hold at Ivory and Finch under your name, he said. Rhea said it was a mix-up with the store. She looked nervous. She applied for credit in my name, I said. Maya at the boutique confirmed. I filed a report. Silence. I didn't know, he said finally. I swear, I believe you, I said. And I did. His innocence wasn't the clean, sparkly kind. It was weary, like someone who wanted peace so badly he'd miss the storm. I don't want to be in the middle, he said. You already are, I said gently. But this isn't about you versus me. It's about what's real. What do you want me to do? Nothing for me, I said. Just don't co-sign anything you don't understand. He exhaled. Copy. After we hung up, a message from Mom arrived. Whatever you told Luke, undo it. He's upset. You're ruining her engagement. I typed, typed, again, deleted again. Then I wrote one line. I told the truth. The next day, a cousin posted a reel of the brunch. In the background, you can hear Rhea's laugh when she mocked my planner. The comments piled in. Fire emojis, queen behavior, iconic. 2 people asked why I looked so serious. I closed the app. I wasn't going to argue with strangers who clap for cruelty if it comes with good lighting. Nora came over with soup and a stack of cheap mystery paperbacks. You always wanted a case, she said, smiling. I've got one, I said. I showed her the report, Maya's note, the timeline. This is tight, she said. You're not crazy. I hate that sentence helps, I said. I know, she said. Eat. We ate on the floor because I'd sold my dining table to fund the earnest money. The boxes against the wall didn't feel like chaos. They felt like momentum. I woke at 3 a.m. to tapping. Not in the room, in my chest. I got up, made tea, and opened my laptop. I listed every time I had cleaned up Rhea's mess without calling it a mess. The ticket I bought her when she missed her flight. The deposit I fronted for her co-op temporarily. The therapy I suggested 4 times, which she said was for weak people. I stared at the list until my shoulders dropped. Then I added a final line, no more. In the morning, a new email from the bank. We noticed attempts to verify your identity with third-party merchants. Are these you? They listed 2 stores, a florist, a rental company. I flagged both. Then I called the florist. Hi, I said. This is Lena. Someone tried to place an order under my name. We have a note that your sister authorized it, the clerk said. Rhea. She said you'd call to confirm. I'm not confirming, I said. Please put a hold on anything under my name. Done, she said. And, for what it's worth, congratulations on what your engagement, she said, small. Not mine, I said, and hung up. That afternoon, Dad called. You filed a police report, he said, a voice like a slammed door. Yes, over a misunderstanding, over fraud, I said. Do you know what this does to our family? I do, I said. It stops a pattern. He sighed. You're making us choose. I'm not, I said. You chose years ago. I'm choosing me. There was a pause long enough to hear his breath change. You used to be the reasonable one, he said. I still am, I said. This is what reasonable looks like when you're done being used. He hung up without goodbye. I stared at the city until the sky bled into dusk. 2 days later, Maya called. A detective stopped by, she said. We gave him the footage. Also, your sister came back. My heart thudded. What did she want? She wanted us to say we misheard the name, Maya said. We didn't. And the camera is clear. Thank you, I said. She seemed cornered, Maya added. People act strange when they feel watched. I know, I said. That evening, I got a DM from an account I didn't recognize. The profile photo was a pair of cufflinks. The message read, We need to talk. It's about Rhea. I almost ignored it. Then I clicked. The account belonged to Evan, Luke's older cousin. We'd met once at a barbecue. He'd been quiet. He'd left early to pick up his kids from a sleepover. I don't want to get in family business, he wrote, but I saw something at the rental shop. She signed your name on a form. I told Luke. He didn't want to see it. I took a picture. A minute later, a photo came through. A clipboard. My name written in Rhea's loopy handwriting. The date matched the brunch weekend. Validator, revealer. 2 in 1. Thank you, I typed. Can you email that to me already, he replied. Then I'm sorry. This is messy. It is, I wrote. But mess is honest. I printed the photo and slid it behind Maya's note. The stack felt heavier now. Real. I placed it in a folder labeled for me, not for court, not yet, just mine. On move-in day, Trevor's voice echoed in my head. Good bones. We patched the balcony, replaced the performative fan. Diego stopped by with the keys and a plant shaped like a little tree. Welcome home, he said. I held the keys like tiny bells. Thank you, I said. I posted one photo of the empty living room. Sun on wood. A caption with 3 words started, for real. Within an hour, Ria called. Not text. Call. You're making me look bad, she said. You did that, I said. I can fix this, she said quickly. Tell Luke you misunderstood. Delete the report. I'll make it up to you. I'll pay you back. For what I asked? For all of it, she said. Just don't ruin my wedding. Her choice of words was the whole story. My boundaries weren't a matter of harm. They were a matter of image. No, I said. Calm, final. You're heartless, she snapped. I'm done, I said, and hung up. The night settled like a soft blanket. I stood on the balcony and watched a cyclist glide past below. A neighbor watered herbs on the next balcony and lifted a hand. New here, she asked. Yeah, I said. I'm Lena. I'm Callie, she said. If you ever need a drill or someone to move a couch knock. I smiled. I might take you up on that. Inside, I stacked the folder on my desk. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt clear. The emotional math had shifted. For years, I traded peace of mind for peace in the room. Now I was learning the opposite. Short-term storms, long-term quiet. The phone lit again. A group text this time. Mom, Dad, Ria. Family dinner Sunday, non-negotiable. I typed, I'll come. At our place. Noon, no cameras. We'll talk about facts. 3 dots pulsed, stopped, pulled back, fine, Mom wrote. But be respectful. I will, I replied. Respect starts with truth. I placed the folder in my bag. I checked the beams for the last time before bed. Someone had carved initials into the one by the window, C plus N 2011. Love scratched into wood, messy, visible, permanent. Visible. I turned off the light. The next part would be hard. But for the first time in a long time, I felt ready to walk in with my own voice, my own keys, and a story I could prove. I set the table like it was a meeting, not a meal. 4 chairs, a pitcher of water, no flowers. On the island, a small sign I made on a sticky note. Phones here. No recording. On the coffee table, my folder labeled, For Me tabs peeking out boutique rental florist bank police. Nora texted from the cafe downstairs, I'm here if you need air. Callie knocked once and slid a toolkit across my threshold. Neighbor tax, she joked. Also, if voices get loud, I'll water my plants loudly. I smiled. The anchor outside? The neighbor on guard? I wasn't alone. They arrived at noon sharp like they were serving me papers. Mom went straight to the windows. Bright, she said, which in her language means too much. Dad scanned the beams. Did you check these? An inspector did, I said. They're sound. Ria wore a white blazer and the apology face she uses on customer service reps. Luke hung back hands in his pockets, eyes on the floor. Phones, I said, nodding at the sticky note. Mom sighed but obeyed. Dad grumbled. Ria rolled her eyes, kissed her screen, and set it down. Luke complied without a word. We're not staying long, Mom said, sitting. Your father has tea time. This won't take long, I said. I have an agenda. Dad huffed like meetings belong to him. Fine. Do your presentation. I opened the folder. Timeline, I said. Brunch, credit alert, boutique, florist, rental, bank, police. I placed Maya's handwritten statement on the table. The police printout beside it. Then the photo from Evan, the rental form with my name in Ria's handwriting. Mom didn't look. Dad scanned the top page and shrugged. Clerks make mistakes. Maya didn't, I said. She remembered the exact words. She wrote them down. Ria leaned forward. Her voice turned soft. Lena, I told you. It was a glitch. The boutique typed in the wrong thing. I was fixing it. By signing my name at the rental shop, I asked. I tapped the photo. That's not a glitch. That's a signature. She didn't blink. That's not my writing. It is, Luke said quietly. He didn't look up. It looks like your grocery list. A tiny crack. Mom turned on him. Luke, he swallowed. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm telling the truth. I slid the bank email across. 2 merchants attempted identity verification under my name. I flagged both. I called the florist. They said you told them I'd confirm. Ria exhaled through her nose. We are family. We share things. Not identities, I said. Not debt. Silence stretched. The clock tower outside chimed once. The sound came in like a clean knife. Mom crossed her arms. Even if Ria made a mistake, we handle this privately. You don't drag police into it. I didn't drag anyone, I said. I documented what happened. Paper doesn't twist. Dad leaned back. You used to be reasonable. I am, I said. Reasonable is saying what is true and stopping what is harmful. Ria's eyes glistened. She knows where the soft spots live. I was overwhelmed, she whispered. The wedding is huge. Everyone expects things. I panicked. I thought you'd help like you always do. I have helped, I said. Too much, too often. That's what sisters do, Mom said. No, I said. That's what I did while no one stopped her. Luke lifted his head then. He looked tired. Not new tired, deep tired. She asked me to co-sign a few things he said. I said we should wait. She said you'd cover it, Lena, that you always do. Mom gasped. Why would you say that to strangers? It's not strangers, Luke said. It's us. I turned to Ria. You used my name before, didn't you? Her lips parted. What? When you were 19, I said. The car insurance. That temporary switch Dad insisted on so the premium would drop. The time my student loan portal locked me out because of an address change I didn't make. The credit card offer that arrived in my mailbox with my middle initial, wrong your initial. I wasn't guessing. The memories came like photographs sliding out of a shoebox. Dad sat up. We made choices to keep this family afloat. What choices, I asked? Say it plainly. He looked at Mom. She looked at the window. Lena, he said, picking his words like a path in the dark. When you were away at school, there was a situation. We used your profile to open a balance transfer. It was in your favor, lower interest. We paid it. My stomach went cold. You did what? It was cleaner on paper, Mom added. You had steady income history. Ria didn't. You used my credit to move Ria's debt, I said. Dad's jaw tightened. We handled it. No, I said. You hid it. Ria stood, her chair scraped. It was 10 years ago. You weren't even using it. I laughed once. It sounded like a cough. I wasn't using my identity. She threw up her hands. You're dramatic, and you're reckless, I said. There's a difference. Luke touched Ria's sleeve. Did you do the boutique thing, he asked. Just answer the question. Her mouth trembled. For a second, a true face broke through the child who learned that tears bend rooms. She nodded once. Tiny. Say it, I said. Yes, she whispered. I did. Thank you, I said. Calm, clear. That's the first honest thing you've said to me this month. Mom shoved her chair back. Enough. You got your confession. Delete the report. No. She could be charged, she snapped. She could be helped if she wants it. I'm done being the cushion. Dad rubbed his temples. You'll ruin her wedding. She did that, I said. I'm protecting my name. Your name is our name, Mom said. Exactly. Start acting like it. A knock. Callie at the door with a watering can. Plant looked thirsty. Her eyes checked my face. You good? I'm fine, thanks. She slipped out. I gathered the papers. Here's what happens next. I keep the report. I freeze my credit. Any use of my name without written consent, don't try me twice. And if there are old accounts with my info, you disclose them now. You don't order us, Mom bristled. I'm setting terms. Dad glanced at her. A couple fluent in secrets. There's a file, he said. Blue binder, hall cabinet. At your house? He nodded. Today, I said. We're busy, Mom said. Then I'll come back with an officer. She stared like I'd switched languages. 2:00. Ria sagged into her chair. I'll pay you back. For what? For all of it. That's not how trust works. Get help first, then we talk. They left in a flurry of phones and judgment. When the door shut, the room finally breathed. Nora arrived with iced coffee. Well, they admitted just enough, I said. There's a blue binder. Of course it's blue. She grabbed her keys. Let's go. At 1:58, we pulled up to my parents' perfect lawn lemon cleaner in denial. Dad opened the cabinet. Files, manuals, a basket of orphan keys. He set the rubber-banded blue binder on the table, my name on masking tape in Mom's hand. I broke the band. Birth certificate, social security copy, first student loan, then the drift. My middle initial scraped and retyped wrong addresses, signatures that weren't mine. A credit transfer, primary Lena Hart, beneficiary Ria Hart, an insurance policy, L. Hart household member Ria. A bridal line of credit from a brand that folded 8 years ago, denied. Margin note, try again under L. Who filled these out, I asked. Silence. Who signed my name? Dad stared at the grain. We did, when it felt necessary. For the family, Mom added. I photographed every page, calm, methodical. You can't take that, Mom said, reaching. I don't need to. I slid the binder back into the cabinet on purpose. Let them live with their story. Here's what happens now, I said. You'll list every account and send proof they're closed or corrected. No one uses my name without my signature. If you ignore me, I escalate to Banks Bureau's court. Rhea whispered. What am I supposed to do? Live within what you have. Ask without stealing. On the porch, the air smelled like lemons in summer. Nora nudged me. You okay? Mad, relieved, done pretending. Solid place to stand. 2 days later, I closed on my condo. Paper slid. Pen clicked. Keys dropped into my palm, small and holy. I set a stubborn plant by the window and opened the balcony door. The city hummed. My phone buzzed a bank alert attempt to add an authorized user named Rhea. Blocked? The pit didn't return? It just cooled. Then a cream envelope in Mom's tidy script rehearsal dinner. Public apology expected. Delete the report. Do not embarrass us. Nora brought takeout and painter's tape, so summons. She forgets I have a door, I said. We drafted a one-page agreement. Rhea admits using my name at Ivory and Finch and Hart Rentals dates. 6 therapy sessions in 8 weeks. Proof to me directly. Parents disclose and close all accounts in my name within 30 days. Written confirmations. No use of my name or credit without my signed consent, ever. At the restaurant, candles and garlic and a neon better together. I pulled Rhea into the alley and handed her the page. I'm not signing this in an alley, she said. Then at a notary, or not at all. But I won't attend your wedding without it. You're holding me hostage. I'm protecting my life. Luke read it. It's reasonable. I left. No scene. Hands shaking aftershock, not regret. Overnight, the family chat exploded. I slept. Morning, Luke brought a manila folder statements and boutique forms. You should have these, he said. I didn't want to see it. Now I do. Mom sent peonies with move forward. Sign nothing. Delete everything. I sent a photo of the card and returned the flowers. HR emailed about client discounts for the wedding. I sent receipts and a police report number. The detective called it attempted identity theft and noted the pressure. Luke gave her a choice counseling and stop the fraud or he cancels. She refused. He canceled 3 sentences, no theater. My parents' lawyer sent a cease and desist. I replied with photos and a clean paper trail. Then the shift fraud alerts extended, old links removed, household member corrected. Proof, not apologies, enough to level the floor. The detective offered Rhea diversion, restitution, credit, education, counseling. A week later, she texted a calendar. I'm going. Month steadied, work smoothed, neighbors brought soup and drills. One morning, a gray sweater Rhea slid my agreement back signed. I didn't realize how much I leaned on you until you moved. Then I tried to move you back. New Year's Day, I bought a tiny door charm. Boundaries and beginnings. A photo slid under mine, the blue binder, my name corrected in Mom's hand. At the bottom, Dad's script, fixed. If your family feels like a knot, you keep retying until your fingers ache. Hear this? You can love people and lock your door. Paper holds. Keys matter. Would you have signed, showed up, stayed, or moved the river too?